So here's 10 things to consider when installing peel and stick underlayment. Number 1 is always follow the manufacturer's installation instructions. This will help avoid any warranty issues in the future and also probably give you a good end result. Just follow the instructions. Tools you're gonna need, but make sure you have either a roofing hatchet with you or a claw hammer with you. It doesn't matter, some kind of hammer to drive some nails in by hand. Next, we have good old Olfa blade. I use a 1-inch Olfa blade because these things need to be sturdy. If they're not sturdy, they'll break and you're just gonna get pissed off. Next is the chalk line. The chalk line is gonna make sure those rows stay nice and straight. The blue tuck tape is the stickiest tuck tape. This stuff I use to seal off the ends of the side walls, maybe along the top side of my drip edge on the bottom if I'm not overlapping onto the drip edge. This tape is awesome. Next is the nail gun. Here we have the cordless DeWalt roofing nailer. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may not. If you're seeing this for the first time, you're welcome. This guy will, it doesn't replace an air nailer, but for ice and water, it does the trick. Trust me, I take it with me on every ice and water job I do. Get one. You'll thank me. Okay, so number 3 on the list. Are we nailing this stuff? Yes, you do nail peel and stick ice and water. The sticky part of the ice and water is not a replacement for nails. Please nail your ice and water. You'll thank me in the end. Number 4, make sure when you're ordering this material that you are getting the proper amount of square footage for the rolls. The measured square footage of your roof is not the number you're going to use to measure these rolls. Depending on your roof type is going to depend on how much extra you're going to order on top of your measured square footage. This list right here will show you exactly what I mean. Pause the video and have a look. These figures I use in my own business. I know they work, so make sure you're ordering enough rolls for the roof. Number 5, order of operations. Everyone's gonna tell you, start from the bottom up. That is not bad advice, but there is one consideration I will let you know right now, and that is your valley. If you have a valley on your roof, make sure you run a strip up the entire valley from bottom to top first before you install around the eave. Okay, so number 6, pro tip, make sure that bottom row, or whatever row you start to do, make sure that thing is dead straight. The reason why I say this, a couple things, it's gonna make your install 10 times easier and way less stressful. Secondly, you're gonna end up with less wrinkles. And wrinkles in ice and water, it's not the end of the world, but if you have a nice smooth surface, it's better for everything. Drainage, aesthetics. Make sure that first row is dead straight for a nice stress-free installation. Okay, number 7, gable ends. How are we gonna deal with these pesky gable ends? Okay, so when you're on the roof, what you wanna do is, as you're approaching the gable end, you wanna bring your roll right to the edge, take that roll, unwind it about a foot, and then make a cut. Make just a random cut, fairly even with the roof edge. Don't go all wonky. Like, you can keep it nice and straight. Once you have that cut, you can take that roll, put it aside, and then come in and cut that line a little bit nicer, exactly to where you want it. Trust me, even though you're wasting a little bit of material, it makes a world of difference. Number 8 on the list is, how do we properly install the underlayment around a chimney? Typically what I do is I address the front of the chimney first. What I do is I'll make a piece, a foot longer on each side just for the face of the chimney. Then I'll come into it on the sides of the chimney with the roll. Front piece first, sides, and then the top. You can piece this whole chimney first before you start installing the ice and water all the way around the roof. Okay, pro tip number 9, avoid notching at all possible. So here we have this inside corner. I've returned the material up the wall on each side, and instead of cutting and folding it in on each other, I've just manipulated the material and folded it in on itself, kind of like origami, and just tagged the nail right there. That way I know in this corner, there is no hole for it to leak. Number 10, leave half of the paper on while you're getting that row straight. So as you're installing that horizontal row, especially in the summertime, this stuff gets so sticky, right? So what you want to do first is you just want to release that top half of the release paper, get it stuck, get a few tack nails in it to keep it in place, and then release the bottom paper after and stick it down that way. This way, it takes a lot of the headache out of trying to make sure everything's straight. When that happens, you end up with more wrinkles. If you take this advice, trust me, you're going to have a much easier time installing your peel and stick underlayment.